We all know Marshall to be a brand that has defined decades of rock and roll rebellion with its iconic stage amps. And now it has a new gig. And this time it is not on stage but rather in your ears. Meet the Marshall Monitor III A.N.C. This is the brand's latest foray into premium wireless headphones market, and it is priced at $29,999. Now these headphones walk on a tightrope between retro style and modern sensibilities. But is it just a looker, or does it have the chops to rival the tech heavyweights from brands like Sony and Bose? Well, to figure that out, I have been using these scans for a few weeks now, and here's everything you need to know before you decide to buy the Marshall Monitor 3 headphones. Let's start with what Marshall absolutely nails with these headphones. It is the design. Right out of the box, the Marshall Monitor 3 A.N.C. feel like a love letter to anyone who has ever slung a guitar over their shoulder. The black textured vinyl, the brass detailing, and that classic Marshall script logo on the ear cups. If style points were a currency, this thing would be absolutely the richest. It looks less like a piece of tech and more like a mini guitar amp for your head. But the aesthetics aside, these headphones are actually well built too. The padded headband does not dig into your scalp after hours of wear, and the memory foam ear cups form a soft seal around your ears without putting them in a chokehold. Being at just around 300 grams, it is easy to forget that you are even wearing them. Trust me, I wear glasses and these headphones were easy to wear through an entire workday. And this is a win when you are knee-deep in a long Zoom call or an editing marathon. Now, an underrated but very useful tweak is the foldable ear cups. You can slide them into a backpack or even a car glove box without the stress of lugging around the hard case, which is actually very solid. For on-the-go crowd, this is a really useful inclusion. Now, unlike many premium headphones that seem to come with a learning curve straight out of a sci-fi novel, the Marshall Monitor 3 keeps things delightfully simple. On the left ear cup, there is a joystick style button that handles volume, play, pause, and track control. It feels mechanical, old school, and frankly refreshing. There are no swipes or mystery taps. ANC and transparency toggles are physical too. They are very easy to find and easy to use as well. Now, if you are a tinkerer, the Marshall Bluetooth app lets you tweak the EQ and ANC levels. It is not as in-depth as audiophile grade brands offer, but there is definitely enough to boost your bass or dial up the treble if that is your thing. One sore point though over here is that there is no aptX or LDAC support. So there is no high-res audio out of the box, but you do get AAC and SPC support, which means they'll sound just fine on your Android or your iPhone. But don't expect pristine detail on lossless files. Now comes the real test for any pair of headphones, the sound quality and ANC. And this is where Marshall makes a great comeback. Let's start with the sound. The 32mm dynamic drivers on these headphones do exactly what you would expect from a Marshall named product. There's thick bass, warm mids, and just enough treble to keep things lively. It's not neutral by any stretch, but that's not the point. Whether you're vibing to Queen, zoning out to ambient lo-fi, the Monitor 3 brings a cozy, immersive vibe to the table. It's tuned for emotion, not analysis, and that's great for a pair of daily driver headphones. And about the ANC, it is surprisingly solid. No, it won't rival the silence you get on a Bose 700 or the Sony WH-1000XM5, but it knocks out enough background noise to make a noisy cafe feel like a library. It's especially good at low-frequency rumbles like that of AC units and airplane engines. For daily commuting or even work-from-home sanity, or if you have a mobile setup, it gets the job done just enough. Now the battery life is where the Marshall Monitor 3 punches way above its weight. With ANC on, you can get up to 80 hours of playback, and if you turn it off, you might be able to squeeze out a monstrous 100 hours. In my usage, these numbers also held up. On a single charge, I got nearly 4 work days without reaching out for a charger. And if in a hurry, a 15-minute top-up gives you 5 hours of juice, which saved me during a last-minute airport run. Plus, it's also got the latest Bluetooth standard with multi-point support, which means you can be on a Zoom call on your laptop and still take a call on your phone without disconnecting anything or going through the hassle of, switching between the devices. It is seamless and very convenient. So should you buy the Marshall Monitor 3 A.N.C? Well, the answer is not that simple. If you want sterile, clinical sound and lab-grade A.N.C, then maybe not. But if you're looking for a pair of headphones that not only sound good, but look iconic and feel like something, a rock star would casually toss in their bag, this is it. You're not buying the Marshall Monitor 3 because it is the best in every category. You're buying it because it makes you feel cool while doing the everyday chores that you need a pair of headphones to do. The music is good, the A.N.C is much more than polished, and you get a great design. It's practical, portable, and just plain stylish. If the headphones, could wear leather jackets, these would be the ones. There's the rockstar aesthetic, real-world practicality, and decent A.N.C, and that is what makes up the Marshall Monitor 3. At 30,000 rupees, these headphones are not particularly cheap, but if the vibe matters to you as much as the volume, it's definitely worth the price tag. Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below, and do not forget to hit that bell icon after you subscribe so you don't miss out on another video from Unboxed by Chroma.